And welcome back to the video on the Wrestlers Way and to another edition of NXT Out of 10. Obviously the NXT world is hotting up at the moment. We're just a couple of weeks away from Stand and Deliver on WrestleMania Saturday. Interesting show of NXT this week. Still, as I say, building up towards that. So let's get straight into it with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. And they were in the parking lot before the show started. They headed to the ring to spectate the qualifier bout for the ladder match, and that was between Sikoa and Roderick Strong. Soon after the opening match was underway, Sikoa was in control. Roderick Strong got a near fall for backbreaker before stomping on Sikoa's feet. Roddy then hit some big knees to the head before getting the near fall on the upstart. Escobar then showed up at ringside as Sikoa reversed the suplex off a distraction before hitting a Samoan drop. Escobar was taunting Melo and Trick, who were on commentary. Solo and Roddy were on the ropes before the former dropped his opponent with a headbutt. Sikoa then hit a frog splash with the top rope and picked up the win. Overall, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Decent match, and picking Sikoa up the win over an established star is a good way to boost him up. Before we got Tony D'Angelo versus Dexter Lumis next. D'Angelo managed to take Lumis down to the mat, but Dexter got back up and locked in a submission hold. Tony got a knee drop, but Lumis took him out with a big overhead toss. D'Angelo was then caught in a headlock, but managed to get out of it before fleeing the ring. Lumis chased him outside and was dropped from the apron before we headed for a break. Back on the NXT, Lumis got a big splash in the corner, followed by a front face slam. The two took each other out with lariats, while Duke and Persia were also at ringside. The ref was distracted, and Tony tried to go for a crowbar, and held by Peralta, but Indy got to it first. Persia then grabbed the crowbar from Indy, and D'Angelo fought with over the weapon before managing to snatch it away. He managed to hit Dexter in the head while the referee was looking away, and D'Angelo went on to hit his finisher and pick up the win. After the match, Tony called out Ciampa. He claimed that he was the future of NXT, and he will prove it at Stand and Deliver. Ciampa's music hit, and D'Angelo seemed ready for him, but the former NXT champion came in from behind and hit him with a fairy tale ending. Ciampa accepted the match as NXT continued. To be honest, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I mean, it was okay, but it just kind of felt overshadowed by the Persia indie stuff, that kind of distracted it from getting a 7 grade. Backstage, Rude and Ziggler were planning to soften Bron Breakker up for Stand and Deliver, but we got Elektra Lapis versus Fallon Henry. Briggs and Jensen were in Henry's corner like it was a boxing match, and Elektra was in control early on. Lopez got a near fall off a counter before dragging Henry around by the hair. Lopez then locked in a surfboard submission before Briggs and Jensen got into a brawl with members of Legado del Fantasma outside the ring. Henry used the distraction to get some big moves and hit the Bulldog for a near fall. Lopez then got back in control and hit the Blue Thunderbomb for the win. To be honest, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Wasn't a big fan of this. Just kind of like last match, just too much going on, not too much interest really. Before backstage, Draco said that he was getting creepy messages from Gacy and Quinn and hinted that the only solution was to face Gacy in the ring. Chu and Kai were getting along rather well, and Kai said that they were headed for an assured victory in the Women's Dusty Cup. Before we got Robert Roode versus Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker got some big hits early on before hitting a spear. Bron was setting up for a move in the corner before Dolph Ziggler got on the apron and distracted Roode out of the way. The rest saw the interference and sent Ziggler backstage. Roode then got a clothesline and mocked on Steiners before getting a neck breaker on the former champ. Breakker then hit a Frankensteiner from the ropes before Roode fought back with a spinebuster. Braun blocked the Glorious DDT and hit another spear for a near fall. Roode then blocked a big move and hit the Glorious DDT before almost getting the free count. The two clobbered each other for a bit before Roode went for a middleweight move. Breakker got caught Roode and hit the power slam before picking up the victory. After the match, Ziggler sneaked up on Breakker on the ramp and took him out with a super kick before taunting him. For this week's build, it was okay, nothing special, but for what it was, it's decent. Breakker gets a win over former NXT champ at 7 out of 10. Index and Dusha were backstage, and Persia claimed that Duke could beat anyone on the roster, unlike Lumis. Dexter then drew a picture of Gunther, and Drake said that he could in fact beat the leader of Imperium, and he would prove it. Andre Chase was then in the middle of teaching his class, and his star pupil Hayward said that he was going to destroy Von Wagner next week before we got Grayson Walter versus A-Kid. Walter was in control early on, as A-Kid was being knocked around, before A-Kid took things outside and cancelled the big move when they got back. Grayson and Walter then got out of a hold, cancelled the dive before taking him out with his rolling stunning finisher. This gets a 6 out of 10 for me. It was a decent match. Wish it could have been given more time though. After the match, Carmelo Hayes said that the losers from tonight's qualifiers would face each other at the last spot in the ladder match next week. Quite predictable, but definitely interested to see who wins that match because there's definitely some candidates. Three Brothers versus GYV was up next. GYV said that they were not the ones who attacked Creeds last week because if they were to attack, they would do it straight out. Drake and Gibson managed to toss the Creeds out before isolating Julius. Gibson was back in before Julius took him out and got the tag before Drake, who was being mauled in the ring. Brutus got a sliding clothesline after he and Julius hit Drake with a double team and picked up the victory. After the match, the secret attackers were shown on the Tyson John. They were Diamond Mind, and yeah, 6 out of 10 from me. Decent match, but creates an interesting story. Before you got Duke Hudson versus Gunther. Gunther was tossing Hudson around as the match started, and Hudson was to get some strikes, but they barely seemed to hit him. Hudson fought him out of a headlock before taking Gunther into the corner and hitting a German suplex. Gunther took back control of the match before getting his trademark chops in the corner. He hit the powerbomb to pick up the win. After the match, he got on the mic and said that he was dominant in the ring. WWE overlooks guys like him while LA Knight, etc. get all the recognition. Knight walked out and Gunther said that LA was everything that was wrong in the industry. And yeah, I'd love to see a Gunther versus LA Knight feud. And Knight did challenge Gunther to a match at Stand and Deliver before attacking the former NXT UK champion. Imperium joined in and they were about to beat up Knight, but MSK rushed to the ring and took each other out, with Gunther out clearing the ring with Knight. Yeah, the match was, I don't know, I kind of felt like it was a bit underwhelming, but yeah, it was kind of made up by getting Gunther versus LA Knight feud. Definitely really intrigued to see that. Cameron Grimes' car backstage promo at NXT continued and said that next week's final qualifier for the North American title ladder match was his last chance before we got Kai and Chu versus Shirai and Kaylee Ray in the final of the Dusty Classic. Shirai and Chu kicked off the match and Io was in control early on. Chu blocked a 619 on Kai with her pillow before she was taken out with a kick by Io. Kai was then in the ring and KLR and Io sent her to the outside before we headed for a break. And back after the break, Kaylee Ray accidentally sent Shirai out of the ring before Chu nearly got a roll up off the victory. Kai came in and Shirai took her down and got the 619 before tagging in Ray for a splash, but Chu broke the pin. Kai then got a double stomp on the ring before Chu got the splash. Ray then got the KLR bomb on Chu before Io got the moonsault for the win. Shirai and Kaylee Ray were celebrating their win when Toxic Attraction came out. Mandy congratulated them and said that they could never beat JC and Gigi. Kaylee Ray and Io said that they were going to destroy Toxic Attraction by taking Mandy's title instead of cashing in their Dusty Cup win for a title match. They wanted to be added to the NXT Women's Championship match at Standard Level. A brawl broke out between the teams before Cora Jade came to even out the odds for Shirai and Kaylee Ray. Io, Ray and Jade managed to send Toxic Attraction out of the ring before NXT went off the air. I mean, like, yeah, this whole segment gets a 7 out of 10 for me. It's pretty decent stuff, but yeah, I mean, like, it does seem a bit illogical. I mean, like, surely that's the whole stipulation. It just devalues the tag team titles. I know it's just my thoughts, but we'll see. I mean, like, it was an okay segment for bits. So yeah, I will give it a 7 out of 10. Overall this week, NXT gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I enjoyed this episode of NXT, to be honest. There were some decent bits on there, some bits that weren't so good, but on the whole, it's a pretty solid episode of NXT. And yeah, one that's definitely getting pretty hyped for Stand and Deliver. Just a few weeks away now, and yeah, that's looking like a decent card. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, don't thoughts, comments down below. Join us to the description for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel and subscribe, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.